Hey guys, welcome to the Perfect Portfolio, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. Just exciting things are going on right now. So if you've been an entrepreneur sometimes for a lot of years, sometimes everything you touch turns to, not so good. And sometimes everything you touch turns to gold. And it just seems like everything we touch turns to gold these days. I can't imagine why we're getting so much momentum with what we're doing, but we're doing incredibly well. And I was just having conversations with people about retiring early, and it looks like we're going to retire another one of our students, and she's in her early 50s, and she just thought it was impossible. And we actually ran the numbers, and she got laid off from her job, and she called me. She's like, I got laid off my job, but do I really need to go back to work? We ran the numbers. She's like, wow, I don't need to go to work. This is cool. So and a lot of our students, when they become financially free, they go do good things. Because we look for the most important thing we look for in our students and our teachers and our associates is a lot of high ethics. It's the most important thing we look for in our people, our students, people we do business with, our trainers, everybody. We look for high ethical standards, and we don't drop that for anybody. So anyways, we got Danilo's over to my right here. We got Danilo, and AJ Merrifield is on with us today. And he's a amazingly great friend of mine, also the chief operating officer for us. And it was pretty much me, AJ, and Danilo that started the company called the Remy Group, which is the parent company of Perfect Portfolio. And it's been a little bit of it's been a lot of fun. We've been teaching this course for 2 years. And it finally just came together in the last 6 months, where we've learned some incredible things, and we're changing lives and helping people, and people were excited about it. And it's pretty awesome. So Mr. Pogajeff, good to see you. I know you couldn't be here. Jordan, good to see you. Who else we got on here? Ed, amazing having you here finally. Mr. Weaver, I know he's been using the Perfect Portfolio to accelerate his retirement. Cool. Mindy, Luke, great to have you guys on here. Connor, good to sort of at least see your face there, at least the picture of it, right? We got a lot of people I don't know. Ivan, good to see you. Dale, awesome having you on here. Tammy, I see a bunch of people I don't know, which is awesome. We love to see new people. Most of our business is by referral from existing students. I got my chiropractor on here. They've been in the course since it started, and they take care of make me super healthy, and I take their finances, and we have a great relationship, great friends of mine. David's on here, Joseph, awesome. And again, great. So good to have everybody here. A lot of you guys, I don't know you. Some people will just come from Instagram, and but we're gonna have a lot of fun today, and we're gonna teach you buy, borrow, die. Okay, that's what we're going to teach you today. Okay, it's only the strategy that billionaires use, and the cool part is anyone of any income can use the strategy. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. Sound good? Who's excited about that? Awesome. Okay, good. I need 2 volunteers, and it would be just somebody who's kind of new, and maybe you're just learning finances. You kind of have a little bit of a financial background. But I would love it. Oh, Brian, good. We're going to put you down as a volunteer, Brian. And I love it. Your camera's on. Thank you very much. It's a lot more fun talking to faces and seeing expressions and stuff. So Brian, don't know Brian. We never met before, Brian. Who referred you?
Yeah, Gene Calvert here in California.
Sweet.
Referred me. Yeah.
Awesome. We were in Dripping Springs visiting Gene at his studio. I know, dude. Come on. Sorry, I should have. I could.
Where's Dripping Springs? I've never heard of that.
So, but anyways,
Dripping Springs is just outside of Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. So, but anyways, good. And then we need one more volunteer. Somebody like again.
I think it's volunteering, right, Ed?
If Mark will have me, I'll volunteer.
I will. I just need you here at the start and at the end, because I'm going to ask you some questions at the start, and then we're going to see what your responses are at the end. Okay. Sound good? Perfect. Fantastic. All right, let's jump into these slides here and jump into this presentation. Okay, so let's share my screen and get this thing going. Okay. Okay, a little for those of you guys that don't know my background, we'll cover this a little bit, but we'll talk about the books that I've written, my background in the financial industry, but I will tell you a little bit about this course. This kind of started in coronavirus, okay? And we had we started the company called the Remy Group, and we used to do consulting with real estate and mortgage companies across the country, and we would go and show them all the tax advantages of real estate and how you could wipe out tax liabilities using real estate. Okay, so we had seminars at La Jolla Real Estate Brokers Association, all these seminars lined up, and then we're working with companies on increasing financial literacy. And then coronavirus came and all the seminars canceled. So I was like, uh-oh, what do I do now? Like, what am I going to do? So I wrote my third book right here. I wrote my third book, and I said that was cool. But then people kept telling me, Mark, you got to start a course, a financial education course. Like, the stuff that you're teaching is crazy. And at the time I was posting stuff on Instagram, and I was buying options in what are called leveraged ETFs. Okay. And they're amazing to make money very fast after a stock market crash. And I was buying positions, and I bought a stock option on Tesla 1 week for $7,500. And I sold it for $75,000 3 weeks later. Okay, making money fast because after a crash, I know how to invest, and just I was making lots of money. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to start a course. So we called it the Perfect Portfolio. Okay, and it was about building, essentially using debt to make money. It was about automating your income, building income streams early. And then we've spent over 2 years refining it, testing it, and now it's perfect. It is perfect. It's pretty close to perfect. I don't know how we can improve it, but we will if we can. We will. It's changing lives, and people are excited about their futures, and people actually see that they can retire in the future. And you don't know, retirement is not about an age. Retirement is about having enough money and passive income where you don't need to work anymore. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so all right, so anyways, this is Remy the robot, right? He's kind of cool, and so welcome to the Perfect Portfolio. Okay, these were originally beta tests. We grabbed a group of guys and friends and said, hey, we're going to build this course. Don't know what we're going to do, but let's try it. And we just started 2 years ago, and then now it's very refined. So we're going to learn about billionaire financial strategies. So these are the strategies that billionaires use, called buy, borrow, die. Okay. The crazy part, it's not a new strategy. It was actually coined by a USC law professor in the 1990s. So it's about 30 years old. How come you haven't heard of it? How come it's not taught in schools? How come there's no universities that teach this? How come financial advisors don't teach it? How come CPAs don't teach it? If it's the #1 strategy that you can use to wipe out all your tax liabilities and make you super wealthy, how come we don't teach it? Those are some good questions, maybe. Okay, so you'll find out, ask lots of questions, and you guys can come to your own conclusion. Okay, so all right, so the purpose of the course, I decided 3 things. One is to raise your financial IQ. Okay. We're going to talk about there's 7 levels of financial IQ. We're going to jump into that, but we want to raise your financial IQ. If you're 1, 2, 3, or 4, we want to raise your financial IQ today. That's the #1 objective of every single course, is just to raise your financial IQ. Okay, so teach you to fish. Okay, now what we're doing right now, we built this course as a do-it-yourself kind of thing. We're actually in some negotiations, and we're nailing down it where we'll provide full investment advisory services as a fiduciary, doing buy, borrow, die. And I don't think there's any financial company that is able to do that in the United States that I know of. Okay, so we'll be the only company in the United States that can focus on the buy, borrow, die tax strategy, specializing it with full regulated investment advisors. So we have the do-it-yourself and we'll have to do it for you. That should be ready to roll in 2-3 weeks, something like that. So it's pretty awesome. Okay. Automate your income. Okay. Why wait to 65? Seriously, why not build income streams now? Okay. I'm going to show you some very powerful income streams, things that seem impossible. Okay. Okay. And that's impossible. I love when I hear people go impossible. All right. So I'm like, cool. Nice. Thanks for that opinion. I'm going to go do it now. So, all right. Our goal is to create 1 million new millionaires. Like, well, that's how are you going to do that? Simple. You take the perfect portfolio. We're going to put it into an app. We're going to automate this whole process and power it with artificial intelligence. And we can easily help 1 million people become millionaires. Done. Okay. It's just a matter of putting the pieces in place. And fortunately, I have a friend and he does the artificial intelligence for some of the largest companies in the entire world. So I got is this the phone call away, that artificial intelligence. So again, create 1 million new millionaires. Okay. Let me turn off my phone here and great. Okay, cool. All right, good. So this is me where I got my start. I'm the kid in the blue jacket. That is Thompson, Manitoba. And my dad was a uranium miner at this time. He was eventually mined different things, but he was mining uranium in 1977 in Thompson, Manitoba. It's like, gets like 50 below zero there with like kind of crazy stuff, right? So my dad used to, chop down the Christmas trees in the woods, snare rabbit, shoot fishing, shoot duck, bring them home, make a stew kind of thing. And that was where I was born. So, okay. So I grew up without financial literacy. Again, my dad was eventually it was uranium, and then he went to nickel, and he was also a brick mason. I've mixed a lot of concrete. Has anyone else mixed concrete before? Anyone ever mixed concrete? Awesome, Jordan. Okay, good. I've mixed a lot of concrete. Okay. It's very difficult. Yeah, mixing concrete all day long. I've done roofing. Anyone ever do roofing before? Okay. How about under the house, where you spend the entire day under the house sweating? I've done that before. Yeah, I've done factory work. I've done all those jobs that people just don't want to do. So anyways, that's where I got my start. Okay. And I've been a security guard. I've done all that stuff. So my parents lived paycheck to paycheck. Both died without any life insurance. They didn't have any long-term care and zero assets. The crazy part is their parents and their parents on both sides died with nothing. No real estate, no savings, no life insurance, no investments, literally nothing. In 3 generations. I was like, I'm like 15, 16 years old. I'm like, I got to learn something about money here. But when you're in a small town in Canada and there's no internet, not a lot of options there. Okay. How are you going to learn about money when so they no assets. Okay. I came to the United States 23 years ago now. Well, that slide's been updated for a while. 23 years ago, no high school diploma. I still don't have a high school diploma. I did go to college for a while. I went to business and business school and for financial advising and statistics. And then I realized, you know what, this is kind of a scam. I was like, man, they sure give a lot of student loans and credit card debts, but they're certainly not teaching me about how to make money or invest or avoid taxes. So I was like, this is crazy. So I dropped out of college after a couple of years and moved to the United States with no green card and got a job as a security guard. Okay. That's what all the illegal immigrants do. I was illegal. So I was like, hey, get me a job as a security guard. I eventually became a private investigator, and I used to chase people around with a video camera on workers' compensation claims. I got really good at that because I was kind of sneaky. All right. And and I was making $500 a day at the time. Okay. That was my private investigator job. That was a lot of money back then. So I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I read all of Robert Kiyosaki's books. And I started learning to trade stock options. Went to Vegas and took a stock options course. I started learning real estate, started learning tax codes. And that was it. That was where I got my start. And I've been studying finances now for, 22 years, because it took me about a year to find Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But I was always very ambitious. I owned a coffee shop in Oregon with my sister. It was called Better Latte Than Never. It was like my first business, little drive-through coffee shop with my sister. A better latte than never, right? So didn't make any money on that, but I was learning as fast as I could. Okay. Then in 2000, I became a financial advisor, an investment advisor representative. I was doing 401k management. I was doing all those things, and selling mutual funds, selling Roth IRAs, selling IRAs, insurance, long-term care, all those things. And I was a suit and tie guy, working on weekends, sitting down with people, sitting down with business owners, and I was a very traditional financial advisor. But then 2008 happened, and I said, man, these banks are crooked. Okay. And I started researching the banking industry. Okay. And I found out all the dirty little tricks that they use to basically get people in debt and keep them there forever. It's not a mistake. The banking industry, some of their systems were designed by a Harvard MIT mathematician. Okay. And they built the perfect mousetrap to slowly dig you into debt and keep you in debt for the rest of your life. Okay. And it starts with save money and get good credit. Okay. That's the foundation for what I call the debt matrix. So if you want to learn about the banking industry, how they work, you can get up Rich Man, Poor Bank and start with the basics. Okay. Then I got super sick, had some health issues when I turned 40. I'm in the intensive care unit of USC Keck Hospital. And USC Keck Hospital. And I was having minimally invasive heart and valve repair. Okay. And I woke up and I was grateful to be alive. I was like, I could breathe because I was in some major health issues, but I could breathe. So I was like, wow, this is the best I've felt in years. And I said, I'm going to write a book. I got some downtime, can't do much for 3 weeks. Boom, I started writing top 10 ways to avoid taxes. It's the basics on tax avoidance: real estate, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, insurance, all the basic things. Like when you buy a home, own it 2 years, you can sell it for up to $250,000 to $500,000 tax-free, 100% exempt from all taxes, depreciation on rental properties. Those basic things that you need to know, they're in top 10 ways to avoid taxes. Okay. And then top 25 ways an IUL can secure your financial future and build a tax-free family bank. That was written during COVID. And it's not just about insurance, trust me, it's about how to maximize your insurance, how to maximize the tax code 7702 and 7702A, which can wipe out any of the taxes on all your investments money. All the money you put inside your investment in insurance policy is tax-free. It grows with no risk. It grows with no taxes. It can only go up. It can't go down. And if the market crashes, it can't go down. And then you can secure a loan and leave all the investments there. You could secure a loan to buy real estate, invest in your business, send your kids to college, retire early, whatever. And so I had to write an entire book. That book is mostly purchased by insurance agents across the country. Okay. So, but yeah, and it's about building a tax-free family bank. Okay. By the way, buy, borrow, die, brokerage account, insurance policies, and real estate. I'm going to give you those tips because those you can buy, you can secure a loan. You can take a loan secured by them. And that's the key. Not a borrow from and borrow secured from. Very different results. Okay. And the rich understand this. We'll give you that as a key. We'll cover that in a second. Okay. All right. So how does a high school and college dropout that hated school and reading become an author and financially independent by 43? I just raised my financial IQ. Okay. And I kept raising it. And I learned, I saw the traditional financial industry, and I was focused on how do I build passive income streams, and that's the only thing I focused on was just how do I build passive income streams. More importantly, it changed my thinking. Okay. So it changed my thinking. So we're also going to change your thinking a little bit today. Okay. You got to change your future. You're going to have to change your thinking. I think we'd all have to, we would all agree with that. Yes. Can't change your future if you think the same way, correct? Okay, well, tell you what, there's a guy named Sadhguru, okay? And if you want better results, ask better questions. Okay. Now, thinking is just a recycling of the data you've gathered in the past. So I saw that and I was like, oh, whoa. It's like, wow. What are they teaching everybody to do in the financial industry? Because I read the book on banking and I wrote the book on the banking industry, and I knew they were teaching you a very specific way to think. And then I wrote top 10 ways of tax and the other was, and I said, man, this is crazy. If you just raise somebody's financial IQ, it changes their thinking, and essentially you change their future. Boom, it's that simple. Okay. So if you agree with that, the thinking is just a recycling of the data you've gathered in the past, I would encourage you to consider thinking differently. Okay. So I loved it when people say you can't do that. I'm like, good talking to you, right? Because when somebody says you can't do that, what they're really saying is, I don't believe that I can do it, and I don't want anybody to do it either. So I'm going to try and stop you, right? Isn't that the only reason you say you can't do that? So people can tell me I can't do this and can't do that and can't do that my whole entire life. I'm like, cool, I'll get back to you on that, right? It's fun stuff. That's why I had to become an entrepreneur. Okay. So, all right, first question, Ed and Brian, what is money? What is money? How do we define money?
Brian can go first and I'll copy you.
What's that?
Brian can go first.
Brian, what's money?
Well, in my old brain, money is it's a vehicle of exchange. I give you money for a car.
Yep.
Basically exchange.
Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Ed, what would you say the definition of money is? Because we're tired of talking about money. We should probably first define what is money, right? So what is money?
I don't know, I guess it's like the manifestation of opportunity, or depending on how driven you are, you may need this lubrication called money so that you can accomplish certain things.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, okay, I'm going to help you define money today, because the first thing we do is money. Okay, so, but I'm also going to ask you guys some questions. It's anything we agree has value, is easily transferable, and it has limited supply. It must have those three characteristics for you to consider it money. Anything that doesn't have all those three characteristics is actually not real money, okay? And you should take that fake stuff, what you call money, and exchange it for something that has those other three characteristics, because that's what the rich people understand. So the next questions I'm going to ask you guys is, how is money created? Brian or Ed, how is money created?
But usually by working for it.
Cool, for working for it. Cool. Ed, would you say that's how's money created?
Yeah, I guess the government creates it and then we work hard to get it.
Okay, cool. So most people say work hard. How is money created? Go to work, right? And go earn it. Okay, good. Who can create money? How do you create it? Who can create it? Anybody?
Well, I'd go out on a limb and I would say anybody, but that takes an entrepreneur and probably some sort of amount of skills.
Okay. Okay. So we'll say, okay, so entrepreneur, create money. Okay. So, but can anyone create money? Can anybody create money? I need my wallet. Actually, no. Can you have credit card? One of your credit cards? Okay, good. So, okay, good. So can Ed, can you create money, or Brian, can you create money? Can you just create it out of thin air? Yes or no?
I would say yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. So Ed says yes. Brian, can you create money out of thin air?
I'd say the limited definition, which the government creates money, and we all sort of suck into that volcano.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna have to like give you. We didn't even rehearse that. That was awesome. I love it.
We'll give you credit for it.
Okay.
We'll give you credit for it.
Do I have to work to make money? Do I have to work to make money?
Not if you invest it right.
Okay, cool, perfect. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna completely change your paradigm. Okay, so is a cow money? Yes or no? Is a cow money?
Well, it could be traded, so in certain ways it's it's money.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, basically, well, it has the three characteristics.
Yeah,
It has value.
Yeah.
It's not easily transferable to walk your cow down the street to a trade. It is going to walk it down the street or whatever, and it has a limited supply. In fact, cows are worth a lot more money, right? And organic grass-fed cows, man, they're even more expensive. So literally, a cow is not worth something. Cow is based on how limited supply it is, will determine its value. Okay. Remember, there was a time where a piece of paper was just, there's a piece of paper, and then they said, oh, this piece of paper is worth, you know, how many cows? And it was just a blank piece of paper. And they go, all right, this agreement, and they sign it, and they go, this, you know, this piece of paper is worth 7 cows, and they used to trade the paper. So really the paper only had value based on the value of the cow, right? Okay. So that the only thing that created a value was it was backed by a cow or something like that. Okay. So that's, remember that there had to be limited supply was key. Okay. How about a silver dollar? Is that it says $1 on it, right? So let's look at the US dollar one. It says $1. Okay, is that money?
Yeah,
Cool. Yes, no. So one
Yes.
says yes, one says no.
yes.
Okay, it says $1. I got one right here. I got this $1, and but what's this $1 worth? It's from 1883. This one. What's this $1 worth?
Well, that's the tricky part because it changes in value.
Okay, well, the one on the screen is worth about $27 because it has real silver, because the silver has limited supply. This one is worth $47. Why? Because it's a little bit more rare, it has less limited supply. You can't create more of these from 1883. So crazy. It says $1 on it. The one's worth 27. I don't know what the price of silver is today, but we'll call it 27. And then this one's worth even more than twice that amount because of limited supply. Cool. Now, if you have a $20 bill here and you have a $20 bill, okay, well, we'll talk about that. Okay, how about Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin money? Bitcoin, is that money?
It matches all 3 times, yes.
Okay, cool. Brian, is
Well,
Bitcoin money?
I dabbled in it, and it's, for me, that's a whole other education, and for me, it's not easily transferable. I mean, there's so much. It has value and it has a limited supply, but man, I don't understand all the wallets, and I don't think it's easy to transfer.
Oh, it's the easiest asset to transfer anywhere in the world. They actually use it as money in El Salvador. It's actually money. So anybody learn how to do it. I could send $1 million to AJ right now, press of a button, and it would cost me very little money to do it.
You know,
So
Mark, I think we should go ahead and do that just to, you know, show them, you know, that it works.
He's like, for demonstration purposes.
Yeah,
just go ahead and do that.
it's actually the most easily transferable essentially currency in the entire world. And the thing about it is the US dollar has unlimited supply. Bitcoin has limited supply. So guess what's going to happen? Here's my prediction. See, Bitcoin halves every 4 years, right? And in 2032 or 34, I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a while. They're never going to create another Bitcoin. So once there's all the Bitcoin have been created, guess where it's going to keep doing? It'll go up. You know why I know that? Because if the rich people and the billionaires are like, let's go, hey, let's just buy all the Bitcoin. Can't create it, boom, Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin. Okay. Now I'm not saying you should buy Bitcoin. I'm saying that you need to recognize money and what isn't real money. Okay. So, or you need to know how to take the money that isn't real and exchange it for something with all three, you know, agreed has value, easily transferable, and limited supply. Okay. So let's look at real estate. Why is real estate got nowhere to go but up in the future? Limited supply. Everybody needs somewhere to live, right? And if that house right there is next to a river or a lake or an ocean, why is it worth 100 times more than if it's, you know, just sitting in a field in the middle of, you know, Ohio or something like that? Why is it worth so much? Same house.
The surroundings and the
Limited supply. Yeah, if you go to Austin, where's the most valuable real estate in Austin? Any homes built on the river, because you can't build more homes on the river. So anything with a water view of a lake, stream, anything like that, boom, you can't build more. It'll always go nothing but nowhere to go but up. Okay, so limited supply. So homes, so because it has those three things. Okay, let's say a $20 bill. Is this money? Brian, Ed, is this money?
It sure is.
Yep. Would you say that? Yeah, both agree? Okay,
Yeah,
it's fake money. It's called fiat, not backed by anything, just print it. Not only do they print it, then they just create entries into computers and create more and more and more. And then there's literally just digital entries in a computer. Only like 7% of the money in the world is like actual paper. Everything else is just digital entries in a computer, all completely fake, not limited supply. And the crazy part is, if you look at the silver dollar on the left and the $20 bill, they actually switched. Okay. In fact, the $20 bill is worth about 50 cents when accounting for inflation, and the $1 is now worth about $27. So they actually switch places because we don't have real money anymore. We haven't had real money since the 1970s, when they attached it to a cow. It used to be attached, connected to the value of gold or silver or a cow or something in the past. So basically, you guys have fake money. That's why your inflation is happening, because they're printing it, and then they leverage it in debt into the computers, and they just create all the money in the world is just 0 ones in a computer. Okay, when you buy a house, they create money in a computer. If you default on the home and lose it, they just delete the bank entry. Literally, create it, delete it. They press buttons and they create and delete money at will. Okay, and the rich understand this, and why the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Okay, so now, how about Pi coin? Pi coin is, I don't know if it's going to be worth anything, but I'm going to log into my Pi coin really quick. Very popular in China, and I'll tell you what's going on right now. So I'm going to log in. So if you look at this, at the very top, there's some numbers, okay, and they're going up, okay, and that is, my phone is mining cryptocurrency on my phone. It's called Pi coin, and it actually creates it on my phone, okay, and it's going up. I got 8,562 right now, and it's mining away. It mines 24 hours a day. Now, if they ever, when they put that on an exchange, let's say they put it on an exchange in China, then I'll be able to replace this, which was created on my phone, for US dollars or something like that. But then I want to take that money and then put it into something with limited supply. Right? I just, that money is just a intermediary between buying things that actually have limited supply. Okay, to me it is. Okay, but we'll show you how to create more of it yourself. Now, let me ask you this. When I swipe a credit card, okay, I go to Costco for a TV, right? One of the TVs behind me right there. When I swipe a credit card, what happens? What happens? Did I create money? Did I create new money when I swiped a credit card?
I think he created debt.
Created money. Actually created money.
I guess
Created debt. It's both debt and money, but it's actually created new money. It's called M2. M1 is your paper money. M2 is the money created through debt. Most of the money is not M1, it's M2, and they call it, okay? So yeah, I created money. Now, let's say it's $2,000 for the TV, but think about this. There's who benefits when I swipe a credit card to buy a TV? Who benefits first?
I think the credit card company, they get
the fee every time you swipe it. They get a fee. So the credit card company, if I pay interest on that credit card, who else benefits? The credit card company. The Costco, right? They make some money there, so Costco benefits. Obviously, whoever made the TV, a publicly traded corporation, they also benefit, right? There's one more entity, person, for lack of a better word, that makes money when we swipe that credit card, and it's called Uncle Sam. Okay, every time you do that, they collect a tax. So who loves it when we create debt? It's for publicly traded corporations, and big government makes money. So they love it. They just want to keep us spending and buying those TVs and cars and whatever. It just keeps spending. The faster we spend, the more money. And all they have to do is just create the money and delete it in a computer. And that's how money has been for a very long time. Okay. But what if I told you that anybody can create money? Anybody. Okay, you've only been taught how to create money to benefit publicly traded companies mega banks, and the government. Today, we're going to teach you how to create money to benefit you. Okay. And you create money, it also does one thing, it avoids taxes. Okay. So we'll talk about that. Cool. All right. So let's talk about the perfect portfolio. What do we do? Okay. This is a pretty fast overview, but you want to automate your income. You want to generate income where money while you sleep, where you're not working, your money is always working for you, and it's always compounding. Your income is going up all the time. Okay. And we will show you how to do that. It makes, even in sideways market, the market doesn't need to go up in value for you to make more money, and your income constantly grows and it never stops growing for the rest of your life. Okay. So that's what we teach you how to do. Okay. And I'll actually show you my positions, what I own, everything like that. Right. Okay, cool. Then, but when you use buy, you buy an asset and then you secure a loan from it. So you leave the entire asset there and you secure a loan and then you invest that loan. Well, question is, did I have to pay money on that loan? Did I have to pay taxes on that loan? When I take a loan, is it taxable?
I think the government gets some money on, well, the bank gets, what you're talking about, a bank loan or?
Now, yeah, if I put 100 grand in a brokerage account and then I borrow $25,000, is that 25,000? Do I have to pay taxes on it?
I think so, but
Nope. 100% nope. Nope.
No.
Nope. So in fact, that 25,000, did I have to work for it?
well, can I take a step back? So you're not making that loan from a bank, are you? Because the
I'll
bank.
show you. Yeah, you take it from a bank. Essentially, you can take it from the rich call them securities-backed line of credits. The rich do this. They fund brokerage accounts and they keep funding them for the rest of their life. And rather than liquidate them, if they liquidated them, those cause themselves taxes. So they go, that's crazy. I could lose 30 to 40% if I liquidate it. Why don't I just take a low interest loan and then I live off debt? That debt is tax-free. So they're essentially creating new money out of there through debt, and then they're living off that money. And the portfolio never taxable because they never sell it. And then the income streams aren't taxable because they're not working. They're not earning any money. And then they live off debt and they never work or they never pay taxes. And then that's called buy, borrow, die. Okay. Cool part is anybody can do it.
Wow.
Okay.
Sounds great.
At the end of this thing, we're going to say, look, to start this thing, you need to invest a minimum of $100 to start, and it'll go into your own brokerage account. So, if you got 98 bucks, text me, I'll send you the other two just to get you started. How about that? All right. If you're a little tight. All right. So $100, anybody can learn to do this. And by the way, that's $100 in your brokerage account. It's in your fully insured, federally insured brokerage account. Okay. Now you can build a bank number one. That's where you get a brokerage account and you invest. And then rather than liquidate it, that would be insane. Why would you liquidate it and voluntarily pay the government 30 to 50%? You just press a button, create new money, and then you take that money and then you invest into something else. You don't have to pay taxes on it. Cool. And then as that grows, you do what? You borrow from the next one. Brokerage account, life insurance policy with investments in it, real estate, bam, 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 buy, borrow, die. Just keep moving the money around. And that's why the rich are getting so rich. Okay. So cool. That's buy, borrow, die. So you build multiple family banks. Okay. Now you could invest into something and then borrow from that and invest into another asset that's paying you money. Okay. You basically circumvented the tax system by using debt because you don't have to work for it. If you don't have to work for it, you don't have to pay the 30 to 50% tax. They penalize you for working hard. I call that the working penalty. So the working penalty, the government says we penalize work. You know what I mean? So the rich go, why would I work if they're going to target, and they invest and then they borrow, boom, buy, borrow, die. Okay. Now, if you buy real estate, well, let me back it up. Since 1997, there's been an investment policy. I wrote an entire book on it. Okay. This book is about it, where you invest money. It grows with no taxes. You can access loans secured by the cash value or the investments. It's exempt from state and federal and capital gains taxes for the rest of your life. When you die, there's no taxes. And as you grow the portfolio, guess what you do? You take loans secured by the cash value and you do buy, borrow, die there. So you build 3 family banks. Okay. Now these banks, they don't require an application to borrow. They don't require a credit check. They don't go on your credit score and there's no payments on the loans. Okay, build your own banks. Okay, remember I wrote a book against the banking industry, don't like them very much. I'm like, wow, let's just do away with them. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so all right, cool. Now we need some banks, right? So, but all right, cool. Real estate. Okay, when you buy real estate and you put $50,000 down on a piece of real estate and it's 500 grand, right? You sign a piece of paper, you put your 50 grand. You 450,000 is created through a bank entry. $450,000 is created through debt. Now, question: did you have to pay taxes on that $450,000? When you do a mortgage, we've all done it. You sign a piece of paper, get a mortgage. You just created money out of thin air. And did you have to work for it?
No.
Did you have to pay taxes on it?
No.
No, people have been creating money for investing it since they created mortgages, but they never connected it to, you don't have to pay taxes on it. That's why most millionaires are created through real estate, because they're just sort of creating money out of thin air. And they put on 50,000, they take 450,000, they borrow it, you'd circumvent the tax system. So you don't have to work for it, you don't have to pay taxes on it. You don't have to battle inflation over 10 years to earn the 450. In fact, if you put a 3% down payment, it's even better than putting a 20% because you're creating more money out of thin air. You did not have to work or pay taxes on it. See, the secret to building wealth is debt. We've always been told it's the opposite. Okay, but who's telling us to do the opposite?
Well, yeah, but who pays the interest on the
I'll show you. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll actually show you. So now, again, if you borrow from, but anyways, you want to build family banks. Now, when you rent real estate, you can either sell the real estate, not pay taxes every 2 years, make 250 to 500,000 every 2 years, completely exempt from taxes. You could rent it. There's a way to take rents and then not pay any taxes on the income from the rents. So once you have real estate, you wipe out the taxes, you're collecting all this tax-free income. Well, if your tax-free income goes back into your brokerage accounts, now you're funding a tax-free brokerage account, which were never to be taxable, which you can then borrow from those to buy more real estate. And then boom, there's the system on how rich people don't pay taxes. Super simple. We teach all the tax codes in the real estate portion of the course. So there you go. This is the secret of not paying taxes. This is how all the billionaires do it. You know, they say Trump didn't pay any taxes. Guess what? We're going to teach you to use the same tax codes. Okay. And you can do it too. Okay. Well, neither did everybody across the aisle. They didn't do it either, because there was buy, borrow, die came out because there was, Congress were like, wow, all these billionaires, they're not selling their assets, so they're never paying taxes, right? Okay, so here's what the politicians do. They go on the news and go, we're going to cause all these people to pay taxes. But then behind closed doors, they go, what? I can do this too? And then they do it themselves, and then they never change the tax codes. I've seen it multiple times where they go, we're going to tax all these rich people. But then they're really saying, what? This is how they're doing it? I'm going to do it too. So they'll never change the tax codes. Isn't that awesome? Invest with invest in the same ways that the government does. Okay. In fact, when they were screaming about tax increases, they hit a tax code change into the coronavirus stimulus bill that made it easier to not pay anything in taxes. And they're like, we're going to tax everybody. Oh, so let's just do the coronavirus stimulus bill. It's Christmas 2020. Hit a little tax code change and made it easier to not pay taxes. So there you go. Cool. So invest with the politicians, because just do what their families do and they'll never change the tax codes. So cool. All right, let's look at this. We talked about money. Okay, so there's my brokerage account. This is my personal brokerage account. It's got about $38,000, but $15,000 is not my money. I just borrowed it. How did I borrow it? I pressed a button. There was no application, no credit check, doesn't go on my credit score, and there's no payments on the loans. Why? Well, I'll show you this. The interest rate is currently 7.25. Okay. Why is it so low? Because I can't default. It's secured by my investments. The rich people use securities-backed line of credits to do this. And you used to need like $250,000 to do this. These days, again, you can open up an investment account, which start with just $100. When you get over $2,000, the borrow button appears and you can do buy, borrow too. Only $2,000. So, okay. Now, let's look at my investments. What's in this? Okay, my bill for this month is $96. So I'm going to pay $96 in interest. Okay, but I just got 2 dividend payments from those 2 investments. One's Guggenheim, one's COM. One was 106 and one is 136. So I got about $240. So I got $240 in and $100 in dividends of debt. So who makes my payments? Never need to make payments. People say, when are you going to pay it off? When I die. Why would I pay it off? That's crazy. The one thing that made you wealthy, you're going to reverse it and stop doing that. So the funny thing is, like any Dave Ramsey fans, Dave says, buy a home. And that's the one thing that's going to build wealth for you. And then he says, pay it off. Like you just told that you gave them the secret to wealth. And then you told them to never do that again. Like, got a conflict there, Dave. Okay. I'm not bagging on Dave. He helps a lot of people, but he's never gonna create real wealth for people because he's not teaching buy, blow, or die. Okay. So, all right, let's look at, I've got 5 investments in my portfolio. This is my personal portfolio. And I'll show you how much income it generates for me every month. It's over $700 a month just in dividends alone. And my debt will be $96 this month. So $96, I don't even actually pay it. I just invest the full 700 and keep compounding the portfolio and jamming money into it. Okay. Now, the first one is JEPQ. You'll see that I haven't got my dividends from JEPQ, COM, or Tesla. Okay. I've only got my other dividends. So, or sorry, COM. I've got my dividends from GOF and CLM. Okay. I haven't got my dividends yet this month for JEPQ and Tesla. Okay. But again, my dividends will be over $700 this month off of this portfolio. Now, remember, I wouldn't have these dividends if I didn't press the button and go into debt, right? And the money that I went into debt, the $15,000, I didn't have to work for, didn't have to pay taxes, and didn't have to fight inflation to try and earn that money. So I circumvented the tax system and I got rewarded for it. Because the working penalty is a 30 to 50%. So like working seems like a kind of hard. I think I'll just press buttons. Seems a lot easier than working, doesn't it? Okay, yes. Cool. There you go. Tesla is kind of new. It's a 70% dividend. 70. I didn't stutter. 70% dividend. Doesn't quite have the upside of Tesla or the downside, but I'll make about a 70% yield. Maybe it'll go down to 50. We'll see about that. Okay. The bottom one is the S&P 500 times 3. I'm like, after a stock market, I can invest in the S&P, or I can invest in the S&P and make 3 times the return of the S&P, which as the portfolio grows, guess what I do? Keep borrowing money. So I create money all the time. I just go and create it. It seems working's kind of hard. I'll just press buttons. Cool. Seems crazy, doesn't it?
Ed, did you have a question?
What's that?
Oh, Ed, you're muted. Ed has a question.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm not sure if you're taking questions at the end, but you were mentioning, Mark, that you're getting a dividend every month, but typically dividends are paid out every quarter.
I get dividends every month. My dividend on Tesla was 5% last month. Just last month was 5%, and I get that every single month.
Oh, great. I thought dividends from corporations were paid every quarter, but maybe this is
you have to know what a covered call and a synthetic covered call is. Okay, that's a different class. That's more of an advanced class. We're going to go over the basics today. Okay, so all right, so here's what we do. Okay, I used to do financial advising, and it was like, hey, save money, get good credit, put your money in a 401k to save on taxes, get a Roth IRA and put it in mutual fund, in an index fund, and get your home and pay it off. Okay, guess what? That's the exact opposite of what you're doing. Why? Because who's ever heard of OPM? Other people's money, right? You are the OPM for the banks. They're getting rich because you are the OPM. If you want to build multi-generational income streams for the banking industry for yourself, just save money, get good credit, max out your 401k to save on taxes, and get a Roth IRA and index funds. You'll guarantee be turned into a multi-generational, never-ending income stream to the banking industry. You are the OPM. So I say, here, I'll use banks, but I'll go, I'm taking your money and I'm investing it and I'm winning because I'm using their mother. You're 2 people in the world, the people that get used because they are the OPM, or the people that know how to use other people's money, because other people's money is debt and debt is tax-free. And if you don't sell it, there's no taxes. Get a step up in basis. All your brokerage account, real estate, life insurance, all the investments inside when you die, guess what? Boom. All goes to yours, called steps up, boom, no taxes on it. And then guess what your kids do? Buy, borrow, die. They can start when they're 18. So we do have some students where their kids are 18 or 19 and they're building their buy, borrow, die strategy. So, okay, you know, your number one goal is to automate your income. Forget about these retirement accounts or garbage like that. Retirement accounts are dead money. It's dead. Why? Because I can't take a loan secured by the retirement account. So it's dead money. If I can't borrow from it to purchase real estate or fund my business or whatever, dead money. Okay. So all retirement accounts are dead money, in my opinion, because I can't buy, borrow, die. The strategy that billionaires use, okay, let's be fair. The guys who own the banks, they're doing buy, borrow, die. They're selling you crap that you can't do buy, borrow, die. Okay. None of it. Not a single thing. Why? Because they always want you to borrow at 15, 20% interest. Save money, get good credit. It starts with the debt matrix. Okay. So you want to automate your income. So that's your number one focus. You got to say, how much passive income do I have now? And then next week, do I have more passive income? And next month, do I have more? And measure that amount. Okay. And just that's your focus. Now, passive income. Okay. So you want to do it when you're automated, money while you sleep. Okay. Eliminate any debt above 6%. You got to hate payments. Stuff with payments, credit cards, auto loans, got to get rid of those payments. Now you can pay them off yourself and pay them off with after-tax money, or you can invest and borrow and create money to pay out to get rid of the payments. Remember, just totally different way of thinking. Okay. If you want to earn money and pay off debt, what do you have to do? You have to earn it and pay taxes on it, correct? What if you just invested all the money and borrow and then pay it off?
Hey, Mark.
You have to work or pay taxes
Hey,
on.
Mark.
Yes.
Mark, there are a couple questions. The first one is, do you worry about the valuation of the stock to drop the value of the portfolio?
I mean, all your investments are going to go up or down. Yes, but I also make 50% return, even if this stock market doesn't go up in some of my investments. I mean, 10 to 50% is pretty cool on my stuff. So I don't care. When the market crashes, I love it. Because when the market crashes, now I can even make more money. Remember that coronavirus story I told you? When the market crashes, I can make 1,000% return, 10,000% rate of return. The bigger the crash, the more money. All the wealthy people understand this. Why? Because they raised their financial IQ and they're just taught it. They're taught very different ways to think, and they have access to strategies.
Yeah, I think the key too is, the question was, if we're worried about if the stock or the ETF drops in value, that's the old way of thinking.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, if you have a traditional retirement account, you have a traditional IRA or 401k, it will absolutely kill it if the value drops. Because the way you get your money is by selling those assets. So if the value of those assets drops, you go broke.
Yeah.
The difference here is, if the value of the assets drops, that just gives the opportunity, when you get your next dividend payment, to go out and buy more of them for cheap. So you're basically getting them on a fire sale price, which means that as time moves forward, you're able to have even better dividend income because you own more of the ETFs or more of the stock that's providing those dividends.
Yeah, if the price goes down, it's better because you actually build income faster, because you're buying income streams. Essentially, each share you own of an exchange traded fund pays you an income stream. When the price goes down, if it drops 50%, now I'm doubling my income twice as fast because I'm buying it half off. So in fact, the more it goes down, the more fun it is and the faster you are to retire. In fact, technically, you want the things to crash for a while. Okay.
Yeah. There's a few risk management strategies that are already inherent in indices that you use. And the fact that it's producing a dividend, right, or a yield, either way, right? What it's doing is already using a risk management strategy that is in what they call portfolio theory, right? And it's just math on being able to continue to buy specific shares. So you know, the more you increase your financial IQ, now you can actually start to look at things a little bit different, where there's profit and the ability to build money at the same time and insure your money.
Yeah.
There's ways of doing that as well. So.
Yeah, you don't care about the value of your investments. I don't care. If you have a 401k, you're in trouble because 401ks probably pay 3 to 4% dividend. The only way you got to is liquidate it. Worse than that, you can't take a loan secured by a 401k. So the only way you get access is access it. If you need the money before 59 and a half, they tax you 10% penalty plus full ordinary income taxes, which are the highest form of taxation on your 401ks. You can't do buy, borrow, die. So if you can't invest and secure a loan, leave the full entire asset and take a loan. Now you're investing at a high rate and you're borrowing at a low interest rate. You just do that, you're avoiding the tax system. So yeah, I love it when the stock market crashes. It crashes every September. So I'm like, hurry up, September, come on, wait for it to crash. All right.
Like if you take a big loan against your asset or your equity in your account, like aren't you like for the newbie, right? Like
Yeah.
Wouldn't you take such a huge loan that the market drops and then you're liquidated?
No. There's some cheat codes on that. The rich don't play by the same rules. Just regular, what's called margin. Regular margin is like for regular people, right? It's 50%. So you could invest money and then borrow 50%. So you've got 100 grand and you said, hey, I want to buy a piece of real estate. You needed 50,000. You'd keep the 100 grand, you borrow the 50,000. Let's say you purchase real estate. That's cool. Rich people use portfolio margin. They only need like 15 to 20% of their money in their investment account. So they could have a $100,000 account. They want to buy real estate. They'll borrow 65,000. They'll go purchase the real estate. The full 100 grand stays invested. The 65,000 they didn't have to pay taxes on. So they immediately avoided the working penalty because they didn't have to work. If the 65,000 goes down on the house and they borrowed another 500 to buy the house, that's now $565,000 that was created out of thin air by basically pressing buttons, and that you don't have to pay taxes on the 565, and there's no payments on the loans because your dividends will make all the payments. Okay, remember, I'm getting $740 a month and I'm paying $96 in dividends. Yeah, on this is 38K, and I'll show you exactly that. Okay, so you want to at least 5% rate of return on your savings account, fully insured. And you want to be federally insured up to $5 million. You only have $250,000 of insurance at your bank or credit union. You should have 5 million. So with the place we invest, we have 5 million fully federally insured, and it gets 5% rate of return, and it's completely liquid. It's not like a CD that locks up your money, totally liquid. Okay, pretty cool. You want to buy, most people don't ever buy long-term care, but if you don't, they're now going to tax you. There's regulations coming in. If you don't buy long-term care, they're going to tax your income. This is going to be rolled up in California, and then it's going to roll across the United States. So if you don't get it, now, if you don't get it, you're probably going to lose all your assets too. Okay. Long-term care is out. Now you can combine life insurance and long-term care, and then you can fund a brokerage account and borrow, and then you can purchase these things with money you did not pay taxes on. Okay. That's the advantage of building. And then you could borrow from the life insurance to purchase real estate. Okay. That's kind of a good system. And then again, you rent the real estate, you create tax-free income streams. Now you have tax-free money going into a tax success, buy, borrow, die strategy, which eliminates all the taxes. So, okay. So you want to buy life insurance and long-term care, but you want to buy it with OPM. Don't fund it with your money. Okay. And increase the returns and reduce the risk on all your investment accounts. Okay. I'll give you an example. Okay. And become financially free and retire early. People say, this just all sounds too good to be true. So let's take a look at my brokerage account. Okay, boom. This is called the dividend tracker. Now, I connect my dividend tracker to my M1 investment account. The company was called M1. They have the federally insured up to $5 million investment account, and so on. So I got $38,590 in this account. My investments, it just connects to the account, and it calculates my income, and it calculates all my dividends in real time, right? So if I add more money, it recalculates it. As the dividend goes up, it reinvests the dividends. It constantly recalculates my stuff. So every time I add the money in this thing, boom, it recalculates the dividends and I can see what my income is. So I make $8,898.58 is my dividend income from this account. And that's paid as $738.05 per month. And this is off 38,000. But here's the crazy part. How much is my money and how much is the bank's money? Remember, I took a $15,000 loan. Okay. So you got to deduct 15 from there.
Yeah, so you're making
I'm at-
23%.
Yeah. So
Yield.
even my actual dividend yield is about 23%, but that's 23% on my money. I have my money plus I borrowed money from the bank, which I did not pay taxes for. My dividend's over 30% on my money. Okay. I'll collect my $738 a month in dividends. They'll be reinvested in the portfolio. They'll deduct 96 cents for $96 in interest. I'm like, roll on the debt, baby, roll it on. Now you are restricted. You're usually restricted to 40 to 50%. So if you have 100 grand, you could borrow 40 to 50, okay, with no credit check, whatever. You just press a button. If you ever get to portfolio margin, which is sort of like the advanced class, that's where the rich people throw out all the rule book and they got a thing called portfolio margin. Cool stuff. Okay, now you can see my holdings. They're the same holdings I showed you, COM, GOF, JEPI. The top three are based on the performance of the S&P 500. They're closed-end funds. They have a thing called return of capital. Return of capital means no taxes. So my dividends, a lot of them are tax-free because it's called return of capital, or it's long-term capital gains, which is only taxed about 20%. So yeah, and when am I going to sell this portfolio? When I die. Never sell it. Constantly reinvest the dividends, constantly add more money. When I want to live, press the borrow button and just keep cranking on the income streams full on for the rest of your life. Build them, build them, build them, build them. And then buy real estate, rent it, and create more tax-free income stream, which you fund all that tax-free income stream into your strategy. Make sense? Build wealth very fast. Tesla is a new product. It's a synthetic covered call. Just Google TSLY. It's a 70% deal. It's a company called YMAG ETFs. So go to YMAG ETFs. The Apple dividends about 35. NVIDIA's at 50 right now. They just came up with one for Google, Facebook, Amazon. They just created these things. Very cool. You can diversify a portfolio. See, stocks don't really pay dividends, but if you get not the full performance of the stock, but you get a 35 to 50% dividend, you don't even care if the market goes up. Who cares? Okay. So pretty cool stuff. There we go. So that's directly tied to my brokerage account. And cool. It gives me a way to track. We show you the students how to do this, how you track your progress so you can see yourself winning and you can actually calculate how long it takes till you're financially independent. Okay. So by the way, these are all free tools. all the tools are totally free. Okay. So actually, I think this one's $15 a month. So
If you're gonna
yeah, if you're going to tie it directly to see the progress, you can do their free version, but you actually have to manually put it in. I like to just tie it directly to my investment account. So pretty cool stuff. So I don't mind showing my stuff. So if it sounds too good to be true, that's because you've been taught to think a certain way. Okay. And you've been taught to think a certain way by who? By big banking corporations. Okay. So, all right, there's 7 levels of financial IQ. First one is I don't understand anything. So tell me if this sounds familiar. We go, I don't understand anything.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
There's another question, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Can you connect Dividend Tracker to Interactive Brokers, or is just M1?
Yes, you can connect it to your Fidelity account. You can connect your Interactive Brokers. The difference is there's only 2 companies that work well for this program. High dividend thing is one is called Interactive Brokers. One is called M1 Finance. All the other brokerages, I'll name them, Schwab, Fidelity, whatever. They don't work well because their interest rates are too high. They just don't work. So they're like the good old boys. They want to keep you borrowing at 14 to 24%, you know, so there's some disruption and some innovation. So I prefer paying less on my interest. If you Google lowest margin rates, you're going to find out the 2 companies that we use. Okay. So life starts out, we say, I don't understand anything. Okay. Congratulations. You've not been you've not been brainwashed by the publicly traded financial companies. Woohoo! Makes my job a lot easier. Next 2, see, the banks figured out a system. They figured out if they sell you 5 products, you'll never leave the bank and you'll always go back to them for your financial education. They figured this out. Okay. So they want to sell you 5 products as fast as they can. They start you out with save money, get good credit. You're a young guy or a young girl and you go to, college and they go, well, get you that student checking account and savings account. You're like, oh, they're so nice. They're free. But then they go get a credit card, got to build that credit score. They sold you 3. They get you the car loan and the mortgage, boom, you're done. They figured out that system. Just sell you 5 products. Okay. You'll take your kids to the bank and they will provide you your financial education.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
There's another one. Does this work for Canadians? I have Interactive Brokers, but M1 isn't available in Canada.
Interactive Brokers. Yeah, that's the thing. We have some international students. I think we have somebody from Canada on here and Spain or something today. Anyways, yeah, so it does work. We actually figured out how to do this. Now, all the tax codes that we use, we'd have to research those for you. But yeah, you can totally do all this stuff on Interactive Brokers because Interactive Brokers they're an international institutional trading platform. So that's the cool news. Okay, so level 2, I save money, get good credit. So that indoctrinates you to 1, always expect to be paid nothing on your money and then borrow it back at a higher interest rate. And then you need to save money, which that gives them their OP money. By the way, your checking account is called a sweep account. It's called a zero balance account. As soon as your money hits your checking account, it's gone. There's $0 in your bank account when you go to sleep at night. It's called a zero balance account. All corporations and banks use them. Okay, so they take your money, save money, they pay you nothing. It's gone. If you spend some money, they sweep a little bit back in there to trade the transaction. So your checking account is called a sweep account or zero balance account for the banks. Then they get good credit. They go get 3 credit cards, get an auto loan, get a Macy's card, all that stuff. And then they actually use some pretty sophisticated systems to get you into high interest credit card debt. And you're welcome to the debt matrix. Level 3, I save money. See, they started out with save money, get good credit. Then they say max out your 401k to save on taxes. You're like, that's the worst idea ever. The taxes that are coming for you if you max out your 401k, horrible. Okay. So anyways, and then have a Roth IRA. See, congratulations, you're a multi-generational income stream for the banking industry as soon as you do level 3. Okay. Impossible to get ahead pretty much. You'll never retire. I can run the numbers for you if you like. It's impossible to do better because you just have average financial advice. And average people aren't doing very good these days. I don't know if you noticed. Okay. Level 4, I need to use other people's money. You just have the realization that, wow, this other people's money, what is that? How does it work? And, you go, cool, that's immediate. But you got to go to 4 and then to 5 and then 6 and then 7. Level 7 is kind of where some of our students have gone. Some came in at level 1, some came in at level 3. Financial advisors are stuck at 3, and usually CPAs are also stuck at 3. So the CPAs and the financial advisors, they're actually stuck at level 3 because who educates them? The banks. So, all right. So here's buy, borrow, die. I'm going to play you a quick video. So.
Some of the very richest Americans pay little in taxes compared with how fast their fortunes grow each year. How? They use a tax strategy known as buy, borrow, die. It's like the ultra wealthy are living on another planet. Average people need income to pay for basics like housing and food, but the ultra wealthy don't. They can just live on borrowed cash. Step 1, buy. The ultra wealthy buy an asset or build a company or inherit a fortune. As long as they don't sell, they owe no taxes. They keep their income as low as possible since every dollar they earn can be taxed. Step 2, borrow. They borrow against their holdings and the bank gives them a really good deal.
I'll loan you $10 million with only 3% interest. But if you take a $10 million salary from your company, you'll owe almost 37% to the IRS.
So the ultra wealthy use loan money to fund their lifestyles. That's how a billionaire can live the most luxurious life imaginable while reporting little to no taxable income. Step 3, die. When they die, these lucky few often use complicated trusts and philanthropic foundations to avoid the estate tax. And their heirs can inherit stocks and other assets tax-free. A new generation is ultra wealthy and the cycle starts all over again.
Cool. There you go. That's how they do it, right? So let's share my screen again and get into the curriculum. So, all right, so buy, borrow, die. Now here's the cool part. There's also an article, how ordinary Americans can also buy, borrow, die without paying taxes. So anybody of any income can do this. You don't have to be rich anymore. You don't need 250,000. And that's exactly what we teach. We're the first company to really dig into this over 2 years. And we can show anybody how to do this. That's the cool part. Cool. We can also send you links to this video, which we'll do a little in the chat in a little bit. Okay. All right. So, okay, here's where we are. The next steps. Okay. You came, you learned buy, borrow, die. Now the next question is, how do I do it? Right. So here's what you can do. You can read books. We can send you some chapters. So if you want to, if you're like, man, this course is for me, complete the Google form. We'll send you it. We'll put it in the link, or we'll send it to your email, put it in the chat, and then we can invite you back. Okay. We'll send you free chapters of the book, Top 10 Ways to Avoid Taxes. We'll send you a few chapters to raise your financial IQ. You want to raise your financial IQ every single day, just a little bit. Okay. Debt elimination. We got to show you how to eliminate your debt. Now that any debt above 6%, we hate payments. Now you can do one. I can send my payments in to pay off my debt, but that's money you have to work or pay taxes on. Or you can focus on investing, borrow to pay the money because you don't have to work or pay taxes, and eliminate your debt and eliminate your payments. Okay, so we got to get rid of all your bad debt, credit card debts, loans, department stores, all that, anything like that, get rid of payments. Why? Because when you have cash flow, you can fund more into investment accounts building income, and then you can borrow from those to purchase more assets that build income. Okay, next. We'll show you how do we invest. We build incomes now. That's the only thing we focus on. What is my income now, and how do I build it faster? First steps to automating your income, invest $100. Okay. We're always going to throw some links in there in the chat. Go in there, copy that link. It's all the directions how to open up an account at a company called M1 Finance. Okay. And you can start with $100 there. Okay. But you can open it up. All the directions are there. The video we showed you there, or the link on how ordinary Americans buy, borrow, die without paying taxes in that link. So check the chat. We can send it out via email, or you can get it in the chat. Okay. So you got to invest $100, right? Just put it in your own brokerage account. Okay. Proper protection for your family. You need life insurance and long-term care. If you don't have long-term care, you can lose all your assets. So you can buy it together, package it up. We use a company called Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Yeah, exactly. That company, they have an amazing product that combines life insurance and long-term care, and then tax-free investment accounts. It's all wrapped up in a wrapper, and it's pretty cool. Okay. You want to build that tax-free family bank. You want to be able to invest, and then what? Take low interest loans secured by your investments. If you can't borrow secured by the investments, again, not borrowing from, borrowing secured by. Okay. Build a tax-free family bank. Continue learning. Our Instagram, The Perfect Portfolio. Mark Kwan is my Instagram. Occasionally I'll do some TikTok maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Our YouTube channel, P2 Wealth. You can go on here. You can start watching some more videos. Okay. Let's go over to our P2 Wealth really quick. Oh, the link's not working. Yeah, maybe it's our next one. Okay. So here's the thing. Don't make any decisions today. Okay. Let this marinate, go down. Anyways, the cost of the course is $1,500. Okay. The person you invited here, we pay them, I think, $395, right? They're not inviting you because they make money. They're inviting you because, like, man, this is amazing. My life is changing. Talk to them about that. Okay. Now, but come back and see the next 2 classes. We don't charge you anything. Okay. Come back. We're going to see the orientation classes on Wednesday, August 9th. It's at 6 p.m. So 1 week today, the orientation class. Come back. We're going to teach you the structure of the banking industry. Where does financial education come from? All these different things. And it's going to clarify some things for you why your financial advisor can't teach you this. Okay. If your financial advisor started teaching you this, it's called selling away. They get terminated, blacklisted, and fired, and they're banned from the financial industry forever. Isn't that crazy? Just for teaching this strategy. Okay. So if your financial advisor can't teach it, maybe they should do like I did. I resigned from becoming a financial advisor because I realized I couldn't teach my clients how to get wealthy. Today, we're going to have Full investment advisory service is regulated with financial advisors and investment matters, but we'll be teaching Bible or die. Okay. So come back to our orientation class next Wednesday. Then come back to the first class. The first class, we teach you some basic real estate stuff. We teach you cash on cash return. We teach you all these fundamentals that you'll need to build wealth. And then once you've attended this class, the orientation class, and then the class number 1, and then go, hey, is this for me? If you're like, no, not for me, great. Don't pay us anything. Be on your way. Hope you and read some stuff. I hope you enjoyed the chapters of the books. Hope you learned some stuff and we'll part as friends. Okay, if you're like, bam, this is awesome. This is awesome. Let's do it. Pay for the cost of the course. Now, here's the thing. I want to change your thinking. You can pay for the cost with your money, but what's a better option to do it?
Get a loan.
Pay for it with other people's money. What if you put $3,000 in an investment account? You invested the full $3,000, you locked in your income streams, you pressed a button and you borrowed $1,500. Now, isn't that a business expense? It should be. That's a $1,500 business expense, and the IRS might pay you an extra $500 back. That means the IRS paid for $500 of your course. It only cost you $1,000 out of pocket. Plus, you invested the full $3,000. These are just some of those basic things. If you ever donate money to a church or charity, should you use your money or should you use other people's money?
Everything other people's money.
OPM always. I don't invest into anything with other people's money. Never. It's crazy. Why would you do that? Okay, you donate to a church, right? Great. I'll give 10 grand to a church or charity. You get a tax deduction, the government gives you money. What if you have an investment account, you borrow the 10 grand, you didn't have to pay taxes on it, you didn't have to work for it. You kept all your investments growing, 10,000 goes to a church or charity. How much does the government give you back? 30 to 40%. Boom. Isn't that great for the charity? Isn't that great for you, your future? Boom. And you eventually get double tax deductions essentially when you're on the math. Okay. Completely change your future. So then don't decide anything today. You came and there you go. Now, question for you guys. Have your answers changed? Okay. How is money created? Ed, Brian, got to ask, how's money created?
I'm still a little confused, but it's not what I thought before.
No, it wasn't. So we joke, we go, how do we get wealthy? Press buttons. Okay. We have a class called press buttons, by the way. Okay. So, okay, how is money created? It's just in a computer. The banks just press buttons and create it, and then they delete it, and they just deleting, pressing buttons and creating and destroying money, right? But you can do it too. Okay. Lots of different ways to do it. So how is money created? Pressing buttons, essentially. Okay. Who can create money?
Anybody.
Anybody. Can I create money?
Better be.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever bought a home, you created money. You just didn't realize what you were doing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you the rule with real estate is buy one to live in, one to rent. Boom, you're financially secure. You're good. Okay. How do you battle inflation? Buy real estate because it drives the cost up and it drives the rent, the incomes up of real estate. So that sort of thing. So you answer, can I create money? Yes, you can. Do I have to work to make money?
Absolutely not.
No. In fact, you don't even want to work to make money. You'll pay the working penalty. It's between 30 to 50%. Okay. And if you take distributions on your investment, 30 to 50%, that's a lot of 30 to 50% right there. So if you just buy, borrow, and die, there is no 30 to 50% for working, and there is no 30 to 50% because both of them are 100% tax-free. Teach your kids to buy, borrow, die. Cool. All right. So did we raise your financial IQ today? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to change the way you think by tomorrow? Remember, thinking is just a recycling of the data you gathered in past. Is your thinking maybe changed tomorrow?
Yes.
Wait till the next 2 classes. Okay. All right, guys. We're going to call it a night. I don't like to run long classes. I like to run effective classes. Okay. Hate long meetings. I think this is about the fastest we could jam this information into your head. And the fact is, it's going to take you a little bit. So you've been taught to think a certain way, save money, get good credit, max out my 401k. Okay. How do you change your future? Well, one, you got to delete that bad information and replace it with better. Okay, now that knew better, and now you can actually make different calculations. So just your brain starts to see different things and see offer different opportunities. If you do this over 365 days and you just constantly replace the bad data with good data and you start recalculating, it can do amazing things when you raise your financial IQ with the right information over 365 days. Okay, sound good? All right, y'all. My amazing bride, my amazing wife just came home. And so we got to get out of here and I get some food and have some amazing dinner. And then we'll bid you guys a good evening. We'll hope to see you guys hopefully next week. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're like, but I got a job at Safe and Secure, there's AI is going to replace 300 million jobs is the estimate. So if you think you have a safe and secure job right now, just wait. You sure your job's not on the chopping list? What you're going to do if you lose your job and you can't pay your mortgage and you can't feed your kids and all you have is a retirement account? Better learn how to automate your income real fast.
That's
Because
the main thing. Risk management strategy also is how many income streams do you have coming in?
yep,
'Cause
Warren
if
Buffett.
one goes away. So all of it is, just you having a different paradigm on things and being able to build different risk management and passive income,
Yeah.
I think it's Warren Buffett that said that, if you're not making money when you sleep, you'll be working for the rest of
You
your
work till you
life.
die.
So
Exactly. So yeah, so it was 4,000 jobs eliminated, and it's estimated 300 million jobs will be taken by the artificial intelligence. So I strongly encourage you to figure out ways to automate your income. Cool.
start pivoting now.
Start pivot now. Change the way you think and build passive income streams. All right, guys. We're gonna bid you guys a good evening, and we'll see you later.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
Good
Appreciate
night,
it.
everybody.
See you guys next Monday. If you want to get another student in the class, you're like, man, somebody missed this. Right? I wish they were here. Great. Talk to them and say, look, Mark, can we send them a copy of the recording? We can do that for you if you felt like there's somebody you wanted to get into this course. But that's it. They got one more opportunity this week. And other than that, they're going to have to wait 3 more months for us to teach it. I don't think we'll ever be teaching this live again. This is going to be recordings. I'm just simply too busy to be doing this all the time. So I think this is the last recorded session live. The next time it's going to be put in videos, and you're just going to be watching videos of recordings, and then that sort of thing. So cool. Yes, the answer is yes. If you want to pay the extra 1,500, or you can just pay one and then get them in, Ed. Yes. So, but I like your mindset. That's good. So, all right, cool. All right, guys. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.